think you're right.
Howdy folks, and welcome to the Alligator Park. My name is Farrell and I will be your host here today. While our feeders try to entice these big guys to a chicken dinner, I'd like to give you a little background information about the alligator farming industry and how it all works together hand in hand with the conservation program. The Alligator Park was at one time an actual working alligator farm, where we commercially raised and processed alligators for over 15 years. In the early years, we raised anywhere from 7,000 to 10,000 alligators annually. Many people wonder why it is that we could farm alligators for profit since they're on the endangered species list. Well, the truth is the alligator is not an endangered species anymore, and one of the biggest reasons is because of the commercial alligator farming industry. In the early 1970s, when the alligator was on the endangered species list, the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries set up a program to allow farmers to go into the wetlands and gather alligator eggs to raise for profit, with the understanding that a certain percentage of those 4-foot alligators that hatched from the eggs would be returned to the wild. The mother alligator will lay between 40 and 60 eggs in the nest that she has built out of mud and rotting vegetation. Using airboats and ultralight aircraft to spot the nests, we venture out into the marshes in South Louisiana. We, as farmers, will pay the landowner close to $20 per egg in order to come onto their property and gather those eggs. Having this profit not only saves the American alligator from extinction, but also encourages the landowner to maintain the wetlands in their natural state so that the alligator will continue to lay eggs there. Currently, we have to return 12 to 14% of those 4-foot alligators back to the wild, where the eggs were picked up. In the wild, only 1% of the alligator eggs hatched in the nest will survive to reach the length of 4 feet. And it takes roughly 4 years for an alligator to reach that length in the wild, because alligators only grow about 1 foot per year in the wild. Here in captivity, however, we can raise a 4-foot alligator in 1 year using environmental chambers to simulate summer. So annually, we would return 11 times more alligators to the wild than would have survived on their own. 12 to 14% is the number the Wildlife and Fisheries
Number one of every 30.
Because it is high enough to restock the alligators' populations and ensure their survival, yet low enough to ensure that there will not be an influx of alligators.
There's 2 yonder.
Disrupt the environment.
4 lined up
so
here.
The question you may be asking yourself is, how do you raise a 4-foot alligator in 1 year? Well, if you look directly behind the cage house, you'll see a long building. We call it the jungle. Inside, you will find a sample of what we call an environmental chamber filled with baby alligators. We keep these chambers regulated at 89 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Alligators hibernate and will not eat when the temperature of the water around them reaches an average of below 60 degrees. With the alligator regulated at 90 degrees, the alligator will eat year-round and therefore grow year-round. And since they don't know it's winter, they won't go into hibernation. One of the main questions we get here at the Alligator Park is, how can you tell the difference between a male alligator and a female alligator? Well, there are 4 ways to do this. Since there's no external indicator to speak of, the first way is by the temperature of the eggs. Male alligators hatch from eggs that are between 81 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas female alligator eggs are only 71 to 76 degrees when they hatch. And you can actually determine whether you'll get a male or a female gator by regulating the temperature of the egg during incubation. Now, if you don't happen to have a thermometer handy or the gator is already out of the egg, there are some other ways to tell whether you're dealing with a male or a female. For example, you can tell by their color. Male alligators, since they come out of a warmer egg, tend to be darker than the females. If you look at the alligators here on the island, you can see what I'm talking about. The male gators are dark bluish-black almost, and the females are a lot lighter in color. Now, another way to tell the difference between the male and the female is by their size. female alligators will grow to be about 9 feet in length, and they'll stop growing. But the males will grow for their entire lives, up to 19 feet in length. The largest alligator ever caught on official record measured 19 feet 2 inches long and was caught near Avery Island, right here in Louisiana. Okay, so the last way to tell the difference between a male and a female alligator comes into play at night. If you're ever out on the water at night in alligator territory, now don't that sound like fun? Shine a flashlight out across the water and you'll see the light reflecting in the alligator's eyes. If you see yellow or gold eyes, then it's the female that you see. If it's a red eye looking back at you, then you know you're about to be eaten by a male alligator. Here on Alligator Island, we have anywhere from 20 to 30, 10 to 12-foot alligators. Alligators have been around for millions of years and have learned a thing or two about how to take care of themselves. These are very adaptable animals and are one of nature's best equipped hunters. Notice how they jump for the chicken by using their powerful tails to propel them out of the water. As they swim, they fold their feet close to their body and use their rear webbed feet as rudders for steering. And they have sensors that line the bottom jaw that can detect any ripple of water up to 1/4 of a mile away. They have a ballast system similar to a submarine, so they can sink to the bottom, float on the surface, or swim anywhere in between with very little effort. They also have 3 eyelids, 2 eyelids like we have, but they have a 3rd transparent eyelid that slides from the front to the back, giving them a built-in set of underwater goggles where they can see their prey. They have good eyesight, but sometimes, of course, they miss the chicken because their eyes are located on the top of their head. So when they jump up out of the water and open their mouth, they can no longer see what they are after. But once they close those powerful jaws on that prey with up to 3,000 pounds per square inch of their own, they've had much too much exposure to humans and have lost their fear of us. Now these gators would quickly become a nuisance and have to be destroyed by the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. So we're going to keep them right here with us instead. But hey, we need them to be stars of our shows anyway. Other than the ones that we have returned to the wild, the rest are sent to processing plants where they'll be returned to us in the form of meat and hide. Coincidentally, this is the alligator's least favorite part of the show. If you've looked in the gift shop, you'll probably notice that we've gone the extra mile to make sure we use the whole alligator. We have back scratchers and keychains made from teeth and claws, and souvenir heads, and all kinds of other cool stuff. We like to be conservative with our animals and not let any of it go to waste. Now, if you head next door to the snack shop, you'll find out the reason alligator farming is still big business. It's the meat. For those of you who have never tried alligator before, I encourage you to go to our Gator Bite snack shop and try one of our alligator kebabs, or gator bites on a stick, or even alligator sausage. They're dipped in special batter and fried to a golden brown, and they're lip-smacking good. Now, if you're not brave enough yet for alligator, we also have chicken tenders and corn dogs and all that other good stuff. And if you're looking for a one-of-a-kind souvenir, you can go right over to the photo booth and get your picture taken holding a live alligator. Hey, don't worry, the mouth is taped shut so it won't bite you. And think of the story you can tell to all those relatives back home. We're proud of our conservation program here at the Alligator Park, and we appreciate you coming out to support us in this effort. Remember, every time you buy an alligator product or try some of our delicious alligator treats, you're helping to keep the alligator conservation program going, which enables us and generations to come after us to enjoy seeing and learning about these magnificent creatures. We appreciate all of you taking time out of your day to come and visit us, and we hope you will come back to visit us again. So as we like to say here at the park, thanks, and we'll see you later, alligator.